Okay, we're recording now. So anyways, if you want, you can write down this quote. I think this quote is just like beautiful in the way that it sums up the purpose of personal development. Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 hours sharpening the axe. Trivia, anybody know who that is? um, Abraham Lincoln, one of my husband's favorites. So give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 hours sharpening the axe. And again, this just like points out the obvious. When I first started doTERRA, I spent no time sharpening the axe. I just did all the chopping, which was fine. But when you spend time sharpening the axe, obviously you're going to be a lot more effective in a smaller amount of time. And so I'm going to talk about 6 areas that you can focus on personal development in. And then I'm going to talk about some practical ways of how to prioritize it, especially within a busy schedule. And then we'll dive into some Q&A before we wrap up the call. So number one, personal development is learning. I think that's a lot of times what I think of first is that personal development is like reading books on Audible or in like actual book form, or listening to podcasts. It's going to conferences. It's going to doTERRA's convention. It's going to all the corporate events that are available, and just like learning. Like that's like the first thing that I initially think of. And that really is like a huge piece of personal development. And so I want to give you guys a little bit of a visual. When you think about personal development, there's a lot of people that will use an analogy about personal development where basically like you have to picture yourself like, or let's all picture a child, and they're like growing, and suddenly like they stop and they like just like don't keep growing, and nobody knows why, but they just like don't stop growing. And let's pretend that you have this like super awareness, and suddenly you see there's like this like thing that's always hovering above them. It's like this clear window almost, and like prevents them. They can't grow because it's like always squishing them down. Like they can't. And that's like the visual that I think of when I think of personal development. We all are walking around with these invisible things. We can't see them. They're like blocking us from growing past certain points, and we don't even see it. And that's why learning is so valuable, because when you start to learn and hear other pieces of information come in different aspects of life, whether it's about your mindset or how you view money or your relationships or how you teach doTERRA or how you recruit new builders, like whatever it is, like there are things that are stopping you from living out your potential, and you just can't see them right now. So learning is extremely crucial, because you hear a new perspective and suddenly you're like, oh my gosh, you have like this like light bulb moment, and you realize the lie or whatever that had been stopping you. That's one way personal development can come into place. And so when I wanted to give you guys like some specific books that I recommend. Most of them I have read already. So you'll see that, well, okay. So when I first started doTERRA, everybody was like, read GoPro by Eric Worre. And I definitely do recommend, if you've not read any books, that is the first one that should be on your list, GoPro by Eric Worre. And I got it in paper form, and I'm not even kidding, guys. I probably had it for a year, and I did not read it. I didn't read it, because if I sit down to read, it's not going to be GoPro, I'll be honest. It was going to be my Bible, or it was going to be some other like spiritual book. It was not going to be GoPro. It did not interest me at the beginning. And then my husband got GoPro on Audible, which if you've not heard of Audible, it's you can do a subscription. I think it's like $15 a month or something. Laura would know, maybe. 1 second. Tyler. Okay. anyways, so it's subscription based, but you can also purchase like just one book, but it's a lot more expensive to purchase one book at a time. If you get a subscription, you get 1 credit a month for a book, which is an easy way to set a goal for yourself of, I want to read 1 book on Audible per month. And so anyways, we got GoPro, and I'm not even kidding. I think I listened to it in like a week. And personal development still was not even a part of my like normal routine. It took me like a week and I was done. And it was revolutionary for me. It like changed my mindset in so many ways, guys. I had all these limiting beliefs about network marketing and the business and all that kind of stuff. And it just like blew stuff open for me. Thanks for sharing that, Christy. That's super helpful. And credits never expire. It's so true. So anyways, I will share that I, number one, don't have a lot of books on like in physical form because it's just not a good fit for me. I always told myself, oh, I'm never going to read on Audible because I just love holding the book and highlighting in it and writing in it. But guys, now I have a child that like never happens. Let's be real. He's like pulling the pages. It's just, like a page. That's all that would happen. So anyways, this book is a book that I have not read, but Tyler has read, and I was just flipping through it beforehand. I'm like, oh, I need to read this. This looks really awesome. So this is called The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. And this is going to be a great book on thinking about just creating routines and rhythms that bring exponential results in your life and in your business. So that's why I was attracted to it, because this year I've been focusing a lot on creating rhythms in life. And then a book I'm reading right now is called The Big Leap. I didn't even know I had it in paper form. I downloaded it on Audible and then found this. But this one, I just started reading it today, and it's really great, just basically on how we sabotage ourselves. We experience a certain level of happiness, and then we're just like, oh, I can't do this. And then we like fight with our spouse or something stupid. It doesn't sound real, but I promise you guys it is. Like, last week in Cancun was really interesting for me, and that's why a person recommended this book for me. But anyways, Strength Finders, Laura. We've talked a lot about Strength Finders, and in the coming months, I'm not sure if it will be part of Dare to Elite or if we're just going to do it as a tribe time call after Dare to Elite. I have a friend that's a Strength Finders coach that's going to be on, but this is an awesome way to build belief in yourself. If you're needing to like really like figure out like what are my strengths and what do I love about myself and what do I do really good, you need to take this assessment. Get the book on Amazon. It comes with an assessment code. Take the test and start learning about yourself. Here's GoPro. And then the other books that I would recommend are Essentialism. Essentialism is an awesome book about prioritizing in your life. If you feel like you're just like crazy busy, but not even happy, you need to read that book, because he really talks about like honing in on the things that are gonna be the best for your life, and how in American culture we like give badges of honor for the title of busy, and really it's not that amazing. Next book, The Miracle Morning. I read that at the beginning of this year. The Miracle Morning specifically for network marketers. This book is awesome if you're struggling with mornings or just like wanting to have like a really proactive, intentional way of starting your day. And then you've probably heard this book a billion times, but How to Win Friends and Influence People. One of my favorites on how to share doTERRA and just love on people in general in life. It still challenges me today on a regular basis of like just getting out of caring about myself and just approaching other people to love on them. A book I just am finishing, I'm literally in the last 10 minutes, is Divine Compensation by Marianne Williamson. And if you have money mindset issues, the Law of Divine Compensation, sorry. As in, if you like think nobody should ever buy the diamond kit or the every oil kit, so like everybody on this call, right? You should read, not everybody, you should read The Law of Divine Compensation. Oh my goodness, it is such a beautiful book. And like abundance mindset versus scarcity, like it is so powerful. I like will probably read it a second time. It was so good. The Magic of Big Thinking, or The Magic of Thinking Big. I have not read that book, but my husband loves it. Battlefield of the Mind by Joyce Meyer. It's another one about mindset. And those are the main ones I had on my list to chat about. So anyways, to answer Celestia's question, you can choose to pay per book, but it's more expensive to do it that way. So if you pay for the subscription, it's a lot cheaper in the long term. So that would be number one, is like soaking up learning. So we just talked about a lot of books, but like if you're like other ways that are really valuable, and honestly, like, so like for instance, convention is one of the most amazing ways that you're going to learn. I'll give you an example. Actually, I'm just going to talk about doTERRA corporate events. Let's talk about the fact that last year when I went to Cancun, I had won the incentive trip from doTERRA, right? I was a silver. And I met all of these beautiful people and went back this year as a diamond. And guys, it was on my vision board. I was like, not gonna not go on the incentive trip. It was insane and amazing. And I was like, I have to be there again. Like that changed my life and my business. Like for me and my leaders, like we all know like some of the placement stuff that I learned there and how that shifted things and how it led to me eventually hitting diamond and Mel hitting diamond, and honestly maybe even Laura and Londa and them hitting gold. And Danny's whole placement structure is beautiful because I went to Cancun. So anyways, corporate events with doTERRA are crucial to your business, and there's such an awesome way to invest in yourself and in your business and in your life. Like, let's just be real. You'll be surprised how many people you go to convention go there just as wholesale customers. And even the incentive trip, guys, there was premiers there. Premiers that did not win the trip. They bought in to go because they just wanted to go. So, and I will say there was a girl there. She's like a platinum. She won the trip for her and a guest. She brought her best friend who's like been no about the business. And after the trip was over, she decided she's going to do the business. So pretty good in that aspect as well. The second thing that is valuable for personal development is, I think kind of obvious, but I'm a very action-oriented person. So book smarts and street smarts. So book smarts, we've already kind of talked about. It's like learning, like in doTERRA, the reason, one of the big reasons I was not, as successful in the beginning was because I just didn't know. I didn't know things. Like I was not book smart when it came to doTERRA. I was just taking a lot of action. And then there's street smarts where it's like, you're actually like learning to apply the knowledge and what it looks like. And so that is where, like when we talk about all these books, the books are awesome, but if you don't work to connect the dots of your life to the books and like put it into action, it's obviously not going to create transformation in your life. And so, yeah, I would say that my biggest thing to encourage you with is like just be conscious and aware. And I think you guys all are. Like when you're reading books, when you're taking in the knowledge and you hear something and you're like, oh, that was good. Like take a moment, write that down in your planner as a quote that you can read throughout the entire week. So it can be something that's shaping your mindset more on a continuous basis. Number 3, personal development would be the people you surround yourself with. And again, like this one is like rocking my world lately. So Callie, my enroller, had sent me a video of this coach named Deb Erickson, and she talks about recruiting up in the business, which basically is this idea of like, you're looking for like awesome, amazing people and seeking to do doTERRA with them. Instead of like thinking like, oh, nobody wants to do the business. Hopefully somebody will say yes. And the first person that says yes is going to be like my frontline rock star that hits silver and goes diamond with me, that sort of thing. So anyways, that's like one way that it applies, but also just in general for your life. I've always, I don't know, I'm like trying to think of like how to share this one without going into too many details. I think it's just really important to think about the words that are coming out and the things that the people that you surround yourself are talking about. Like, are they talking about like positive, uplifting, grateful things? Are they inspiring you to take higher level action? Are they like encouraging you to be the best you? Or are they like cutting at you and like jealous or like always complaining about things? Like, I'm being super like drastic with my comparisons, but I think like one super easy action step is just to really think about like, who's somebody that I really admire and I really look up to and I would love to learn from, and like reach out to them and just like thank them for the ways that they've encouraged you, thank them for the ways that they've inspired you to be the best you, even if it's from afar. And like just like continuously do that. And like honestly, if they're in your area, you can even ask them to have coffee with them or have tea to get with them, or like a play date with their kids or anything like that. But just like create space to inspire yourself with other people that are doing stuff that with their lives that inspire you, like that you like want to be like. So one example I'll give of this, everybody probably knows already. I'm obsessed with Ange Peters. I just love learning from her. She's like very similar to me. And Ange Peters has a podcast called, well, I think it's just called Whole Fit or Ange Peters or something, but Whole Fit Talks. Yes. Anyways, I listen to that every single week. She's not like my actual, well, I mean, I know her, but like I'm not sitting down and having coffee with her every week, but she's inspiring me and challenging me every week. So that's something that I know I need to prioritize because she does inspire me and I want to be like her. And there's a lot of things that I model similarly to her because I value the way she does it. And so I would encourage you, like specifically in the area of doTERRA, like don't waste hours and hours doing this, but you could maybe even ask your upline, like, hey, have you ever like saw a doTERRA leader that's doing any like public trainings or videos or anything like that that you think I would be inspired by? Or you can do a little looking around. There's like so many people out there that share awesome, powerful stuff. And honestly, like maybe I'm not the person that inspires you most, and that's okay. Like I love Callie, but Ange inspires me the most, you know? Callie inspires me in a lot of big ways, but it's just different, you know? So I just think that there's like this beautiful freedom in doTERRA because of the cross-line training and abundance mindset of doTERRA that you can learn from so many different people, and get blessings from that. And maybe it's somebody like completely outside of doTERRA. Like Laura just sent me this podcast earlier this week that was about systems, and it's this like marketing person, but it was like genius and it was so good. Like I loved it. I was like nerding out. I was like, oh my gosh, so many good ideas. And she wasn't even a doTERRA person, but it's clearly something that inspires Laura. She's been listening to this podcast and then sent it along to me. So anyways, just like seeking out people, even if it's virtual people that are going to inspire you and you can check in with on a regular basis and listen to. Number 4, this one is maybe going to be difficult for some of you guys. I know it's not normal for me to do, but there's actually a video I shared a while back on the educators page. It's by this woman who's the founder of Spanx, which I think it was Spanx. Just basically, she's a woman and it's this huge mega company. And she talks about how as a child, her dad, every single week, I think it was, they would sit down for like one of their meals and he would ask, what is something that you failed at this week? And what? Oh, I said it really fast. Okay. What is something that you failed at? And they would all like, the kids would go around, share something they failed at. And then they would like celebrate it. Like they'd like freak out and be like, that's awesome. And then they'd say, so what did you learn? And then they would talk about what they learned through the failure. And I think that is so beautiful and such a great thing that we can replicate here on our team is like every single day, every single week, we're doing things in our businesses and we're failing at them in some way, shape, or form. Awesome. That means we're in action, guys. Like, everybody that checked in for Dare to Elite this last month and didn't get the 5 enrollments or whatever, awesome. If you were actually trying and having your classes and like talking with people about doTERRA, like that is such like a step in, like it's that first step in your right direction, you know, it's your first step in your growth. And it's awesome. And we can celebrate it. And then it's like, well, we can take a little time to be like, well, what did I learn from that? Okay, that's helpful. Good. Let's move on. Because we take ownership for it and we can take the next step forward coming from a place of like, I actually did it. Like, I wasn't too scared to like hide and not do the things that light me up and just like hide in this box and never do the things I love because I'm afraid to fail. And trust me, I've been in that spot before. Like, it sucks. It sucks. So anyways, I love that one because I'm just like, oh yeah, like failure is such, like you think about your kids, like I'm totally beating a dead horse, but like your kids when they are like trying to like learn to walk or whatever it is and they fail, like you celebrate them still because they tried. Or they try to say a word and they say it completely wrong. Like some like Elliot is always saying excavator. And it's like the cutest thing. He's saying it completely wrong. But I'm so proud because he's trying to say this complicated word, excavator. Like, anyways. So I just think like doing that with yourself is a huge, huge thing for personal development too. So if you guys do this already, I'll talk about this in a second. But one of my weekly rhythms with Tyler is that we'll do just like literally a half an hour on Sundays during Elliot's nap. We check in and we talk about our week that's coming up, what we're planning for, when each other's going to have to watch kids, like all those like little random details. And we just implemented this and we started like talking specifically about like reflection questions that help us like dive deeper in this. So like one of them being, what was something you failed at this week? And then celebrating that with each other, or even doing it by yourself during a bath or something like that, and literally celebrating it. So next one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is what I just started talking about, creating new habits. We are creatures of habit. Newsflash. How many of you guys have something that you're like, why do I always do that? Stupid, like such a waste of time how I do it, or like I hate that I do that, or whatever it is. Like for me, like when I'm stressed, I eat chocolate. You probably all know that. Like terrible habit, right? But anyways, with habits, I think first of all, I'm not going to do it justice at all. It was already shared on, I think, the educators page. Ange had done a podcast that was on habit architecture, and it was awesome. It was so powerful. And if you need further inspiration on that, I definitely encourage you to check it out. But I'll share more about specific habits that I implement for personal development during my practical options. I think it's just like the obvious of like when we do certain things out of habit, there a lot of I don't know. I just have so many things. I'm like, that's stupid that I do that. Like even like mornings, like if I don't have a specific habit, like my mornings are a waste. But if I am in a habit and a rhythm, I can be like on point and feeling good about my day before Elliot wakes up. So last one is cross-line collaboration. And I'll give you an example of this. When just in the Dominican while I was there, they 2 nights while we're there, they do something called fireside chats, where they take blue and presidential diamonds and they pair them up and they talk on different topics. And then we just get to learn from them and ask questions. Bummer part is you have to choose one out of like 6 topics. So it's really difficult. But anyways, one of them that I went to on the second night the one that I went to was called Crossline Collaboration, and Collaborative Community is what it was called. And it was with a lady named Dr. Zia Nix, who's a presidential chiropractor in New York City. And then Elena Brower, which a lot of you guys probably know her. She is a presidential diamond also in New York City that is a big time yoga girl, and she designed the yoga line. Both of them are just like amazing. Like I can't even describe, I'm such a feeler, but when you're like in these people's presence, you just like feel peace and you feel like the happiness just like oozing out of them. Like that is just who they are. Like they're amazing. And one of the things that they talked about was they just like basically shared their part of their doTERRA story and how what collaborative community has meant to them. And one of the things that Elena shared was that when she hit diamond, Dr. Zia reached out to her and congratulated her and said, "Hey, can we go for lunch? I want to celebrate with you." So this is like, they're not on the same team. They are technically like even in competition with each other. I know New York City is huge, but um, anyways, so they get together, they like create this amazing bond. And Elena, to be honest, didn't like super gel with her immediate or her enroller. And it was one thing that had held her back in the business for a long time. And so Zia ended up being a huge part of inspiring her to continue moving forward and push for things. And like, she just shared about really the journey that she had to like just growing with Zia. They literally like create now, it's like twice a year, a retreat for any team. Like anybody can go, but it's like primarily they're two teams and they do it all together and they're completely not on the same team again. And so the thing that I want to touch on about that is I feel like my heart is still shifting in this, because when I first started out, I think I, like everybody else, feels that like instinctual, like competitive nature of just like, especially people that are in your area and all that kind of stuff. But the thing that I have to like remind myself of is like, they really are on the same team as me, and they're going to inspire me a lot more than the other people that don't believe in me or doTERRA or my network marketing business or whatever else it is. So like if I have another, like when I was silver, if I would have reached out to another silver in my area and done events with them, you have way more people at them. So it creates awesome momentum. You get another genius mind that's also hit silver to help you create influence and impact the people on your team. Whatever it is, like you're going to have that shared impact on each other and be able to build momentum with each other. There's definitely like a need for like being like ethical and having good conversations with each other. If there's somebody that multiple people have been sharing with, of course, but that is something that's super minuscule in comparison to the benefits you're going to get from having an event like that together. Or even having like lunch dates periodically to inspire each other with the new ways that you're doing things in your business. So making it really practical, and then I'll open space for Q&A. Things or ways that I prioritize personal development. We just went through like a lot of stuff, and so I don't want you guys to leave this feeling overwhelmed and like you have to do all of them at once or anything like that. So during this time, I'd really encourage you like make it super practical. Be like, how am I doing this in my life, or how can I do this in my life in a way that I love? So that's stating the obvious. Like basically, when it gets busy, personal development it's an easy thing to be the first thing to go off your list, unless you've worked hard to get it as a priority. Obviously, like it's just one of those things that seems optional when really it shouldn't be. So my first thing would be, I would really encourage you all to create some sort of a morning routine. And it sounds complicated, but it does not have to be. Literally, when I get up in the morning, the first thing I do, and I'm not even kidding, I had to like outline this for myself and actually like do it, because there was a while when I just like transitioned to becoming a stay-at-home mom that I just wouldn't brush my teeth or wash my face for forever in the day. And then you just feel gross all day. So my first step is I go to the bathroom, I brush my teeth, and I wash my face. Then I walk to the kitchen and I have a big old glass of water with lemon oil in it and some Terrazyme. And then I start making my coffee. And that whole time it's quiet. So I'm getting like some silence in my day. And then after that, I sit down in my chair, and like I could keep going on with this, but basically like just creating pockets for, I would say, a little bit of silence. You'll notice that I did not say that I pick up my phone and check my notifications or start responding to people on Facebook. In fact, I have my notifications for Facebook turned off completely. Like, I don't see when I get notifications from Facebook because it's addicting. Like, there's science behind it. You can research it. And you do not want to be owned by Facebook. And I will just, like, I feel like this is obvious, but like when you start doing the doTERRA business, suddenly it's like you're just on Facebook more because you're communicating with your people. And that is a really important part of what we do, but it's not something that you have to be enslaved to. And so creating specific pockets of time where you do that can be really valuable. So if you're a stay-at-home mom, even saying like, okay, after I put my baby down for his first nap, that's the first time I check Facebook and I go through all my notifications and I respond to people and give them answers. And then after I'm done with that, I get off. Just creating routines where you are doing it each day, but you're not enslaved to the notification. So anyways, I incorporate silence. I create movement, even if it's just 10 minutes. Like this morning, I did 10 minutes with a kettlebell. You don't have to do it that way. You could do 10 minutes of yoga. You could do like a 10-minute walk outside. You could do 10 minutes of like jumping jacks and squats or something just to get your heart rate going. Like, honestly, Callie and I were chatting about this, and she was just even doing 5 minutes, and she had been doing 5 minutes each day for 2 weeks, and she already noticed a difference in like the toning in her legs and stuff in 5 minutes. And she just felt better because she was doing that. So anyways, I would definitely encourage you to create movement as a part of it. And honestly, it's like more than like weight. It's more than everything else. Like the biggest thing for me has been when I consistently work out, I feel so much more energy. And Tyler can share the same. Like, we've both been trying to be more diligent with our workout routines. And the reason why is because we need energy. Like, otherwise we just want to sleep in till 10 every day. And we're obviously not, we can't do that. We have a child. But just creating energy in our life has been the biggest reason why we implement that. The other part of morning routine. Okay, I spend time reading every morning. Usually for me, it's primarily in the Bible. And then I spend some time journaling sometimes. Honestly, that one gets cut out a lot because usually Elliot's woken up or I've run out of time by that point. But anyways, those things that you do in the morning can be different for each of you. But the important thing is that you create it with intentionality on what are important things to you that you want to be doing every day. And you will feel really awesome if you get them done right away at the beginning of the day. One other thing I'll just quick share is I actually made a video for myself at the beginning of the year, and it's like a 2-minute video, and it has my vision board basically in it, and it took me like not very long. So I know some people aren't into techie stuff. That's totally fine, but if you have a Mac, I could tell you super simply how to do it. I just put pictures to a song I love, and I watch that in the morning as a way to connect to my long-term visions and goals. So anyways, again, don't get lost in the details. Just focus on what are like some simple things that I can outline to create as a morning routine, and a few things that I really value getting done, but I don't usually get done. And how can I do those in the morning? And maybe you're not a morning person, and maybe you have to start with like, okay, I'm gonna wake up at whatever it is, like 7 to start. And then every week I'm going to bump it earlier, 15 minutes until I'm at 6:30 or until I'm at 6. And then that's going to be when I start my morning routine. Next thing, this one again, is like super simple, but it's just like the matter of creating the routine with it. Having your phone and your headphones available for any space of the day that typically is just white noise for you. So meaning like if you're folding laundry, if you're washing dishes, if you're like putting the laundry in and out, if you're like sometimes even like mornings when I'm just with Elliot and we walk to a library that's really close here, I'll just put my headphones in while we're walking. I have one headphone in, the other one I can hear him with, and we're walking along, and I'll listen to my Audible book as we're walking. And so like any of those spaces in the day where you have white noise, you can be listening to Audible books. So this is not something that I like sit down and for 45 minutes of my day, I listen to my personal development book. It's just like literally I'm doing it during the white space of my day. And I know a lot of people like to create like super clear goals with it. So if you want something like that, I would say if you're reading a physical book, set a goal of reading 10 pages a day. If you're an Audible person, set a goal of listening to 10 minutes a day. Either way, that's a great place to start. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Last thing I'll say is if you feel stuck in your business in any way, shape, or form, no matter what level you're at, this is a great place to start. Like investing in yourself and like learning what this thing is that's like stopping you up here. So anyways, hopefully that was inspiring for you all and blessed you. And yeah, we're just going to go ahead and open up for Q&A now. I don't know if anybody has questions. Nobody had posted in the comments that I had saw. So any type of questions. Any type of questions.
Hey, Melissa, are you still on? Have you already bought some books on Audible?
Yeah, but I can just never remember. Do I have to go into Amazon every time?
Once you have them, you should be able to go to your app and just pull up My Library.
Yeah. I know, like, once I get them, but how do I get them off of Amazon?
I go to audible.com and buy them.
Oh.
Mel, when I buy them on Amazon, I like after I buy them, there's like a question and it says, where do you want to send this to? But it should refresh either way, like on your app. I don't know if
your app should have it. Yeah.
Yeah, it has like 2 buttons on the top you can toggle between. One says like what's on your device, and then one says what's on your cloud. And if you click on the cloud, that should show anything you purchased, even if it was through Amazon.
Okay, but if I can go to Audible and that's like way easier, that's what I want to do. So I go to audible.com.
Yeah.
Because like you have to, like when you're looking on Amazon, you have to find a book that has like, what does it have to have?
Oh, I just search on audible.com and then it's already on Audible. Like I know that.
Yeah, it's like super confusing. I always thought you had to do it through Amazon, so that makes more sense. And does audible.com have like unlimited options?
I wouldn't say it's unlimited. Like they didn't have Harry Potter for a long time, but they do now.
Oh, so sad.
But I think that's usually because like the book isn't like in Audible version. Like for instance, we had Neil Anderson that other week. He doesn't have an Audible version of Starfish.
Yeah.
And some it's just copyrights. Like Harry Potter didn't allow it for a long time.
Okay, so I need to go to audible.com. That's my problem. And then how do I know where my credits are? Will they store on Audible?
Yep, they'll store on Audible. So you'll just log in with your Amazon login.
Oh.
Because they're one company. So.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay,
yeah.
That makes more sense why I was being directed to Amazon. Okay.
Wow. So Audrey asked, oh, sorry, Mel, were you done?
Nope, just having a life-changing moment.
That's great. Audrey asked, do you set aside specific work time every day and stick to it? Yeah, I definitely do. I always pretty much have. Usually it's never enough time. I will say that. But I think it definitely looks different for everybody because like everybody's lives are so different. Like there's like stay-at-home moms on here, there's people with jobs, there's like, I don't know, people with 1 kid, people with 5 kids, like everybody's all different, you know? And so I would say that that's like Audrey, if you feel like a lot of like shifting happening in each week, especially for the needs of like your family based on when your hubby's working and your kids' activities and stuff like that, that's where like the weekly planning for me comes in. And feels like super crucial because like when we do the weekly planning, I'll even look like 2 weeks out in advance to see if I need to get any childcare or anything like that planned. But to be honest, like I'm just trying to think. Ever since I've had a child, I have had some form of hours designated every single week with childcare in place. Whether that was like the beginning when I was working at Inspired, I had Tyler. And I'd be like, okay, this is what I'm doing doTERRA this week. And if you have problems with, I've been like listening on repeat to, Ange has a video, it's on her podcast called Promote Yourself. And it's so good. And I feel like it's crucial at the beginning of your business to be able to like say to your spouse or say to your support people, say like, I need to do this for my business this week. Are you able to watch the kids at this time so I can be able to do those things? It's like a form of promoting yourself, you know, like just being like, this is valuable in what I'm doing for our family. And so I need this time. And so anyways, a lot of times it's been Tyler, but then also like, when Tyler was working full time, and if it wasn't an evening slot where I had a class, there was times that like when we moved to Waco, right away, I got a nanny for 2 days a week. And like it pushed me on my comfort zone. Like it was great. It made like, I mean, I went to a lot of yoga classes at the yoga bar during that time to network. Like I just did it to network. And then I had certain hours that were on my computer. But anyways, that time with it, like daycare was crucial. It was a nanny at that point. Because it like freed me up to do the stuff I needed to do in my business. And then when I got back to Sioux Falls, Laura helped me out for a while with Elliot. And then we got back here. And even now with Tyler and I both at home, we still have 2 mornings a week where we have childcare for Elliot because he needs time with other kids. And I love that the person he's with speaks Spanish, and it's not perfect in every way, but there's a lot of great things about it. And it also gives Tyler and I both time where we're able to be productive and not feel like either of us have to watch the kids. Like we both know we're going to get good time. So anyways, that kind of answers Gretchen's question too, I think. And I think it's also just like being really intentional with like sleeping times. Like, you guys all know, I think that I don't know, I maybe struggle at times with a little bit of work-life balance, but I don't really regret it. So anyways, like there was like lots of seasons with doTERRA where if we didn't have something else planned already, like as in if we hadn't proactively said that this was like a family night, or if we hadn't said that this was like we're going to life group or whatever it was, like Tyler just knew that I would probably be doing stuff for doTERRA, like naps after bed every single time. Like I just, if I took a bath for myself, that was like a self-care thing. That was like amazing. But I was just like getting it in every crevice that I could because I knew I wanted to build as fast as possible. And then, do I feel like my Bible study and doTERRA fit in my life? Yes. I will say that I don't like study the Bible as in-depthly as I used to, but I would say in some ways I feel like that's not necessarily because of doTERRA. It's more because of motherhood. Like I mean, maybe that's a bad excuse, but I still like I prioritize reading the Bible each day, but it's usually in the morning for like not a significant, huge, long chunk of time. But I feel like I'm experiencing God in a lot of other ways as well that are really important to me. And so I don't feel like it's like been a negative thing for my spiritual walk. In fact, in a lot of ways, like even like the book I was talking about, that Marianne Williamson book, Divine Compensation, like that book was amazing for me spiritually. Like it was so good. And it just makes me even look at scripture in a different way. So anyways, hopefully that's helpful. Cool. Well, any other questions, guys? Oh, yes, Danny. I know I need to read that one now. She's been telling me about it. And I haven't read it yet. They have this really cool book club that they did at the yoga bar for a while, and they read that book, A Return to Love. Oh, wow. Gretchen, that's intense. Way to go. Anyone have a nanny I can borrow? Seriously, guys. Okay, untapped secret. I have not said this on a video before, but like, I'm not even kidding you. Every nanny that I've had watch my child is on my doTERRA team. It's called when they come over. I'm like, well, here's the oils, and you can diffuse whatever you want, whenever you want when you're here. I want you diffusing because it's really good for mood, and I just love how good it is for Elliot. And then I'll be like, and these are the rollers, and these are how you use it. I'm doing the membership overview before they even have their oils, right? But seriously, we had, for a while it was kind of annoying because we had college students in Waco, so I think we had like 3 different nannies or something like that over the period of time, and it was annoying because I had to retrain them all. But they all ended up joining my doTERRA team, and even the daycare he's going to now, she wants to host a class. So anyways, it's great. Yes, totally getting them hooked. Yeah. Oh, so exciting, Gretchen. That's perfect. Oh, wait, I'm Aaron's babysitter on Cajun. So you just have to swap. And honestly, like if you feel like you can't afford childcare, then it's just getting creative and asking other moms to like switch time of watching kids. Like, so one day you watch all the kids, the other day they watch all the kids. Anyways. Anna, that's awesome. Anna's going to Washington, I guess. Okay. Well, thank you, beautiful ladies, for taking time to join. I'm excited to hear your feedback from like whatever you decided as your action step from today's call. And I'm excited to hear the ripples in a couple months from now. So thanks for joining, and I'll post the recording and then some little actionable items tomorrow. And I'm super excited because I'm pretty positive next week is the week that we have Dana Moore joining us. Yeah. Dana Moore from Live Naturally is going to be on. So make sure to mark your calendars. You have to be there live. She's amazing, and she's going to share her doTERRA story. If you didn't know, well, no, I won't steal her punchline. Her story is really incredible. So, yeah, thanks for joining, guys, and have an awesome rest of your night.